There's another one. Yeah, up to too long, I don't know how. Yeah, I use personal email or text or actually, just when you say it's SIM, they give you the domain as SIM. SUSS. They are logged in, somehow convert to SIM. I don't know. Then the thing. So that is sometimes people you don't answer my telephone. Yes, it is. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm suspecting because it used to help us. Yeah. Because the error message which shows right is any computer. Yeah. So I'm suspecting it's because they try to route. Yeah. And I remember you helped us before. Yeah. So they have you on Unisys because after we changed the domain name to SUSS, they have to port over, and I think they may have some. How? But I already give so much gain already. I don't know. In the meantime, you just use. Oh. Oh, then I was so I sent a mail to them immediately. For it, they were just send a mail. Support. Oh.
And talk to. No, I mean Krishna is over there. Let me see. How do I make it more? Anyway, this is the quality, I guess. Yeah, nice. How many coming? We start at 6 and 靠一段钱，要一根，这是 KD and KC KD and KC. Oh, okay. How do we know who else is looking at this right now? Who is attending this event? Can you know? Last time they used to be able to chat, even chat with us. It's what we really knowledge to share. Last time they used to be, I think, okay. No, this one, wait, Jana, no, I mean, you click on viewpoint, which is this one. Free watching now. Oh, okay. There's a delay, you know.
But still pretty good. Oh, oh yeah, that's understood. Can't be instantaneous.
Well, actually, the best we can have somebody monitoring this part. Because right now, if I come out here, I cannot see anything. Ah, okay, okay. Oh, okay. You can help us. Maybe somebody will come up and ask question here. You let us know because they're online. Yeah, I know. I just want to. Okay. Can I take this opportunity to welcome you? Happy New Year to everyone. And this one shows that actually the there are four colleagues. Wow, I cannot hear myself because there's an echo delay, and I don't know how to react. But anyway, Krishnan is there. I think there are another three who I hope they will come up. But this is being broadcast. In fact, Krishna is not in Singapore right now, so we are trying to reach out to whoever can join the meeting. Okay, so welcome. But the first thing perhaps is for us to go around. I think there are some new people here. Some even I meet the first time. Sorry. Okay. So I'm Momo. There are some. Okay. Welcome everybody again. Welcome. You go this way.
Okay. So I'm yeah, Dr. Yo. So I'm deputy. I just joined in February last year, so I'm getting to know. Okay. So I'm a new. At the moment, I'm square up.
Okay, I am Ravi, along with Yanti. I'm doing the OCA course as ICT 2.5, and we both are doing for.
Okay, welcome and yeah. So let's just go straight into the briefing itself. Okay. So I'm going to share the slide one more time. Okay. I need to. I need to. I need to. Yeah, go away from here. But otherwise, I will keep hearing the echo itself. And then now, how come this one? I need to. Yeah, I need to come back here. Okay, and then trust that the thing is being broadcast. All right. Yeah, is that better? Okay. All good now. All right. Thank you. So the agenda for today is like last time we talked about students' performance, associates, as well as some of the things that is going on. You know, I think most of you understand we have been going on with the revamp, and then here we're gonna talk about the roadmap, and of course some of the questions that you may have is, you know, how may I contribute if you want to contribute, and how you can play a role moving forward. I think that's very much in the mind of those who have helped us all this way, and we do want to recognize and then see how we can make the transition, and also to really make it clear what kind of resources moving forward we want. And actually, one of the things in this type of transition is not only about the content and revamping of the subject matter, because that is just one aspect, but there's a lot to do with the how do we develop a course, and how do we engage students in a collaborative way in terms of learning. So there's a point about collaborative learning and course development, and also the aspects about online learning. How do we use tools? So that is the second point. And then, oh, sorry. Actually, we will go to the exam marking procedure and reminder of this assessment writing before going to these two main points. Okay. Okay. So, like, this is the, okay, sorry. We start with associates performance. Okay. So this is the evaluation. We have 44 data points. We have 19 courses. Sorry, if we do it this way, then the sum of the thing we did not get to this one. How do I unhide? Not cut. Sorry. Don't know. Slash out. So that's why when the presentation. Okay, let's do it this way. Yeah. Okay, so the student performance, 28 ICT courses, and the bracket is last semester. Okay, so July 2017 is 28 courses. Okay, ICT courses, and out of that 7 vendor courses. Okay, so 6 courses have higher rates of 25, right? So ICT 201, 226, 271, sorry, ICT 272, ICT 322, right? So these are marginally higher, meaning between 25 and 30. So it's within the tolerable, but nonetheless, we do hope that I think only Mianchun is here. So, and then also ICT 217, 272, I think Anand is coming. But basically, if we have such situations, I hope when you set the questions, you should at least focus on trying to make some of the question tougher or parts of the question tougher, right? So that student won't get so high a mark. That's in general, okay? But I think the AF in charge should be able to make a more precise diagnosis and see how we can move forward. And these are marginal higher, so it's not very alarming. Some of them are quite consistently having higher mark. For example, ICT 272, which may need more attention here. There's one course, this one is not concerning NOU. It's high because the OCAS, the quizzes are too easy. So a lot of students, after a while, and also the question banks are not big enough. So there's a common issues actually with all our courses, as well as this vendor course or partner course, is that the quiz become too easy or the student get to share answer and so on. So we are making the quiz very short right now. For at least for our courses is 40 minutes instead of last time is unlimited minutes. So remember, you tell your student that once you get on to, actually in the quiz announcement in Canvas, it's all highlighted. But as you go on, you should remind the student to answer the question in one sitting, okay, so that the OCAS will be lower. And we are also working with the partner to implement the same, to shorten the quiz and then shorten quiz time, and then making the question bank bigger. And basically, we need to do the same thing to address some of the high OCAS marks. Okay, and then there are 4 courses that have high percentage of failure. These are the 4. One course is pretty small, so it's not very significant, but I think like 131, 121, and 209 networking. I just want to highlight. So if you have any feedback, or I mean, at least the AF will be able to look at this feedback and respond, or write to us about what your thought is. At this moment, I'm not going to resolve the issues per se. Yeah, I just want to let you know these are the kind of things we monitor as well. Vendor course-wise, we have Oracle, Red Hat, and SAP. So, yeah, I mean, I think most of you are here and you know the things. We hope that the passing rate for the certification can be like 25. Yeah, failure rate again like 25. So that will be considered quite good, But some of them we have been able to do above 25, which is quite good lah. I mean, Red Hat, thanks to Roy's effort and Eugene. Yeah. So and okay, SAP actually is done by the student themselves, so it's up to them. Yeah, actually, has nothing to do with the teaching to staff, except the mentoring. Yeah. So we do have one mentor here as well. So, okay. So these are the things that we look at and we monitor. So I hope you can share this with us, these concerns, you know, if we can help. Any questions or comments or anything? Yeah. Most of the courses are not mentioned here, meaning it falls within the kind of normal range, so which we are satisfied. Okay, if not, then this is the things that we have. 44 data points, the same as last year. Average is about the same, and those that are below 3.8, 3.8 being the standard. Okay, the 7 and last semester is 6, so there's something. So we will talk about this individually with the AF of concern. Yeah. Any comment on this one or points? Pamela? Oh, you are not teaching last. You were not teaching anyway. Okay. So, all right. So, somehow this one I think is a bit too early. Also, I should move this one later on. Okay. So, I think many of you have graded and write assessment on time. Okay? But it's surprising to me that some of the mistakes are, I mean, some of the things are still occurring, you know. For example, I think, okay, this is related to grading TMA and then, or ECA and the task of detecting plagiarism, because for both cases, student report submit the report online, and then, so these are the format that the plagiarism report should follow, that, you know, in meaning even highlighting who are the person who are involved in the potential overlap of answers. Okay, that's what we call collusions. Most of the cases we pursue are collusion rather than plagiarism, because the answer to our question should not be available from online. If it is available from online, that means that the answer is leaked to the public, which is which either, okay, now it's possible that the question is, so I don't think the writer would use a question from online and then where the solution is also online available. That is definitely not an issue with the student, but with the assessment writer. So I'm presuming there's no public sources that the student can copy the answer from. In our case, most of the case, maybe in other type of courses, that's possible. But so we focus really very much on collusion. And once collusion is involved, we have to identify cluster of students who may be involved. So that's why we require the specification of the specific people may be clustered together. Okay, so that's in addition to the turning in score only. Okay, so not all of you are involved in this plagiarism detection, so may sounds foreign to you. But for those who handle ECA and TMA, you will know what I'm talking about. So please do indicate this, right? So that requires you certain investigation, which actually I have shared the video already, right? Maybe we can remind during the TMA time. You know, I think Shaz do that. There's a video how this may be happening. You know, you need to click through several reports sometimes, but it's doable. And the report says that how many. Okay, we have a threshold, right? Right now it's 70%. Every 70%. Every report that has higher than 70% had to be looked at. So it will show up here. This one actually will indicate, in this case, this example is the previous previous report, which we do not have a threshold, but right now we have. So whatever report is above that has to be looked at, and the number will show here, and only the confirm will be written here. And this field, if it is only, this is because there could be several reports you are looking at, and this is the sum, okay, of this one, and this is the sum of this one. So this is what this means. I think maybe some of you, most of you get it right, but some of you are still confused of what to put here. Because I just made it clear that this is the report that is mandated to be examined, which is those above the threshold, no matter how big it is, all right? And this is the confirmed cases, the sum of these confirmed cases. And for these every of these confirmed cases, there should be a cluster of a potential colluder, yeah, collusion. Yeah, so that's the TMA grading. For the, any questions on the TMA? I guess that's clear, huh? For those who have not done this, of course, we will have an individual session with you before you start the grading. Okay. And this assessment writing, again, the table is of this format. Right now, we still receive that, you know, this question pertaining to which outcome. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so that's why I'm repeating here that learning outcome to the left and the question mapping to the right for EQP and TMA. Okay, I just hope you remember this. And the Bloomberg, don't highlight everything. Let's say if you have question 1 here, okay, meaning question 1 map this learning outcome map it to question 1. So only this verb needs to be occurring in your questions. Okay. So not other verb, no other verb need to be occurring in Q1. Yeah. All right. So I guess this is a refresh of okay. Maybe Qixing can add something later on, but that's what I observed. Yeah. Okay, the marking of the script, again, we have a deadline, only 7 to 9 calendar days. So most of us have no problem adhering to this. Some of the rules, using red pen, don't give half marks, and so on. Okay, half marks should be added up, and the rounding up will be done by us. Yeah, no, don't run it up yourself. Yeah, I think that's some of the point that we notice and we like to remind. And Schatz, do you have anything to add? If Schatz has, perhaps we will also send our message. So, okay, so that's about the admin part. Okay, I hope I do a refresh. Any concerns or points not clear? Okay, then perhaps we can move on to revamp roadmap and transition. So before that, this is where this slide should be. You know, like when we look at the landscape of education, there are more and more learning are done online. You know, you look at Oracle, Ravi can attest to it. Last time you used to be using the notes in the paper. Now you have online material, online recording, online lab, online recording of lab. Okay, so Oracle is doing that. Red Hat has, last time is printed, now going online, and so on. Roy can also attest to that. SAP Learning Hub, AWS. Oh, by the way, we are AWS educated. partners. So whoever wants to have an account can sign up. Go to the, you type in AWS Educate and you can sign up as a SUSS associate and you will get an account. Okay. But please know that it will require you to register AWS account at the first place. And then if you have already signed up, you are not considered a free tier user and so on. So the charging scheme is a bit tricky. So if you want to start from scratch, by claiming free tier and then also AWS Educate, who can be given 200 free credits US dollar, then you better use a new credit card to register AWS account and then sign up using that account as an AWS Educate member. This is what I learned the hard way, and Roy helped me on this. Yeah, is that the right advice? No. Yeah. Oh, but if they have registered using, I don't think anyone have actually among this have used SUSS account to register with AWS. So that is a fresh SUSS account and then fresh credit card. And then you can get a fresh AWS Educate, which allows you to be qualified as a free tier user, which you can use a lot of things free for 1 year. And then also $200 chargeable if anything beyond the free tier, that will be chargeable. Yeah. Okay, but be very careful, I guess. Yeah. Roy is our help desk. Sorry, kidding. All right. So another thing is Udemy. I think it is an online course, and then this one is even more interesting because these courses are designed and developed and delivered by individual people, whoever has the skill, whoever has the capability to teach, they can go online and create their own course. Yeah. So, in fact, this for us may be becoming the mainstream way of teaching. Is a new teaching skills. Okay, you can look at it. There's no face-to-face, almost presume here. So how do you teach through online system, the concept, as well as the skill? Okay, are the puzzle or the challenge all these efforts are trying to solve and break through. I think the trend cannot be reversed. So that's the thing we want to learn from the online learning environment. We've been talking about many years, maybe 20 years. Maybe like AI now is the inflection point. That suddenly this become the mainstream. Face-to-face become the minor. I'm not sure, but everybody's going there. Okay. And I think many of you in your institution, you are encouraged to do this, right? You are being incentivized to go this way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you can use this opportunity to cross over as well. Okay. All right. So with that, maybe we can move to this roadmap, and I will pass the mic to. Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, I'll just briefly cover this revamp roadmap. Okay, I'm sure you may have seen this sometime before already. Maybe I just. Oh, it's still too small. Okay, this is what we have in mind. Okay, so now we are actually redeveloping. Okay, we are developing new courses. Okay, so most of the existing courses will be replaced, okay, by all these new courses. So how we differentiate is those highlighted in bold, right? Okay, having the blue color, yeah, bold border is the compulsory courses. Okay, so and then next, what to take note is the different color coding. Okay, so for example, like the green color represent the system courses. Okay, like database, networking, and OS. Okay, and then the brown color are actually the cybersecurity related courses. And if you notice here, this is actually in pink. Okay, so the projector is not showing nicely. Okay, so here, if you see, most of the courses here are all compulsory. Okay, because this is actually about programming. Okay, application development. Yeah, and then up here, the yellow color are actually the project management, IT project management kind. Okay, so for example, you can see like IT service management, yeah, like 317 project management, and of course SAP. Yeah, it's more towards like business process. Yeah, how you implement information systems and stuff like that. Okay. And here in purple color is because what is currently in demand in industry. Okay, is because moving towards supporting software through the cloud. Okay, so for example, we are actually developing this new course. Okay, and so Krishna is actually helping us with this because he's already very familiar working on big data. Okay. So yeah, some of you are already helping to develop part of this course. Sorry, I mean the words are a bit small. Okay, but you should be able to. Okay, this is really small. Huh? Oops. Close this.
One way is to is the honest. To bring down the
I think it's okay. I can zoom in and I just zoom in. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, this one. Can I zoom this? Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, sorry. Okay, trying to make it bigger. Yep. So now two things to cover. Okay, one is about the, as Paul has already highlighted, going forward. Okay, how we want to implement this new way of teaching. Okay, from our current practice. Okay, so one thing is the kind of resources that we can actually offer to our students so that they can actually learn better. So here we have developed this blueprint template. Okay, so you can see the type of resources on the left. Okay, chunk video recording. So this is like the Udemy style. Okay, where you actually can see how the instructor demonstrate. Okay, how to use the tool to enhance the understanding of the concept. Okay, so at first he may cover some concept, and after that he actually shows how to use all this concept in practice. Okay, so actually how we observe is for our vendor courses, right? Yeah, they also have all this like online lab practice. Okay, even AWS also have this coming up. So yeah, because basically to help the student to be able to really absorb the concepts, okay? Because unless they do it themselves, yeah, until they practice it, yeah, they may just listen and then after that forget about it, okay? And then after that reading exam time, they also don't remember much of it, okay? So until they do, then they are able to remember much better, okay, through practice. So just like when we learn driving, right, okay, if you go to the classroom, we sit for the theory test, right, but until you actually sit in the car and drive, you will never drive. Huh? Yeah, so likewise, we hope to be able to, yeah, promote this. Okay, so Paul has actually given some samples, okay, video recording, so you can actually go and see. No, I can't click.
Okay, this is just because Udemy allows you to download the video. And a lot of them upload one year, so which is not quite right in a sense. But basically, go through the theory in slides and then quickly go into the lab session.
Yeah, so like you see here, it actually shows the AWS environment, and then how he actually demonstrate how you can actually launch the instances. Okay, so that means the real practice how to make it work. Okay, so
I actually meant to just share this link among us, so that's why the tube is unlisted. Mostly nobody can find it.
okay.
To respect the copyright.
Okay. And of course, reading the face-to-face, okay, the lectures, okay. Of course, we will still have the PowerPoint slides where you will present and share with the students if needed, okay. So that is the current, like what we have, okay, lecture, online, webinar, okay, to collaborate. And we also want to have recorded lectures. Okay, so for example here, oh, this I think we have. Okay, as all of you know, right? Okay, when you are teaching here in on campus from 7 to 10 p.m., the system will automatically record everything. Okay, this actually students find it very useful because most of our students are not able to come to class, okay, due to some work commitments or whatever. So they can actually view it at their own free time, okay, to so as not to miss what they have. Okay, now of course, collaborate sessions are also being recorded, okay, the webinar. So I think this one just show. Okay, so yeah, this is what happens. So now, because through the video recording, right, where actually you demonstrate sort of like how to do some of the labs, okay, online. And students will definitely have some difficulty following, okay, because it's totally new for them. So that's why we also need online guidance, okay. So what we want to create also online interaction space. So students can actually those who are having difficulty, so the instructors can still help them remotely. Okay, so they can post questions in the forum, and other students can also read it. Okay, and then they can also help each other. So those students who know, they can also help to answer them and stuff. Okay, so we actually wanted to promote this peer-to-peer learning. Of course, now with technology, we have online interaction space available. In fact, Canvas provide. Oops. Oh, sorry. How do I remove this? Okay, so actually in Canvas, our learning management system, there's this feature available, okay, where you can create online forum, and then students can actually post questions, and you can comment and answer them. Next is about the gamification. I have to remove this. Okay, so last one, to engender the learning momentum. Okay, because when we zoom, it got chopped up. Sorry about all this. What do I click on this? Okay, so in class, because the face-to-face session is actually very limited. Okay, for full class, we have 6 sessions. And then for e-courses, we only have 3 face-to-face. So we actually want the students to be able to come and then have some activities for them, so that it really helped them to understand the concepts properly. Okay, so we can have some engagement for them. Okay, so for example, through this gamification process. Okay, so this actually Paul has trial run for one of our course, ICT 226, with Ming Chun. Okay, so they actually have this activity where you can see students come down to the class and they get to work with one another in a group to solve some problems together and learn effectively through their real practice. Yeah. Okay, so you can see actually when they really do it, yeah, then they have any questions, you can actually help to reinforce, yeah, the learning, okay, by explaining to them, and it's easier for them to see the picture. Okay, yeah, otherwise just sitting there hearing the lecture, seeing the PowerPoint slides, yeah, may not be so effective. Okay, so that's how we hope our revamp with the new courses, we can actually redesign everything to be more easily absorbed by our students. And some of the courses, right, okay, we are also moving towards having ECA instead of EQP, okay? So, because, for example, like programming courses, okay, I mean, now the current practice is they come and write the source code in the exam paper. So we actually having more courses moving towards ECA. Okay, so student can actually write the program and then implement and have some projects involved. Okay, so these are the sort of the change of what kind of resources we will be able to provide to the students. Okay, so the next slide is about the activities. Okay, so because with all these new resources, right, we also need to change the way we conduct our classes. Okay, so the activities that is needed. Okay, so for example, like pre-class quiz, okay, for e-courses. Yeah, for those courses which only have 3 face-to-face, okay, we have what we call a pre-class quiz, okay, or PCQ in short. That is typically before the actual face-to-face class. So now students will actually have to go through the online video chunkings and all this, and then answer the questions and then do it. Okay, so this is as per normal what we already have, if you can say. Okay, of course, lecture students should also view the PowerPoint slides before class. Okay, so they should go through, and if needed, right, okay, in the class, if you ask there's any questions, okay, then you can present some of the essential ones. Okay, especially if many students have this query about some particular concepts. Okay, then you can reinforce. So of course, because main thing class, okay, is to help the student clarify their queries. Okay, and to facilitate that, before the class, the students should already have gone through the video chunkings and then do some online practice. Okay, because when they do already before they come to class, they have a better idea of what they don't know. Okay, because once they see, they may already are totally lost. Okay, but when they start doing, they follow the instructions in the video, hopefully they are able to appreciate and understand the concepts better before they come to class. But if they still can't, okay, then reading the class, that's the time for you to help them. Okay, and of course, the online lab, right, we are also offering the office hour. Okay, so instructors will actually be able to give remote access guidance. Okay, so to help the students outside the class. So I'll just show a demo. Okay, so Paul actually do this for his AWS.
Okay. Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can fill in some. Well, I'm thinking that you can ask the student to submit this. If they have any issues with their programming, they can actually record their own session and send it back to you for diagnosis. So that's part of the online lab that that we can. I mean, the question and answer in the online lab, yeah, it's like that. Meaning that, in fact, yeah. I think I sent the questions to Roy, is it? Yes, somebody else. Because I was trying to describe my problem, and then, so I think the better way to describe it is, I just that's part of the exercise of the AWS Solution Architect course, and I try to simulate myself being a student, how will I present the questions to my teacher, instructor. So, but the second one is different. Second one is actually an actual online lab that is conducted using our tool called Collaborate, where, sorry, oh no, this is all questions, sorry. These are all questions. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, these are just what I mean by the student doing the online, and then they do their solutions, and then during the office hours they can ask question about what kind of question they encounter during the lab exercise. They can either go online to relay the question interactively, or they can record down their problem beforehand and send it into the online space. Well, during the lab office hours, we will help them to resolve these issues.
Okay, and also we would like to promote them to learn from one another. Okay, so that they can help each other if it's possible. Okay. Because some of them may not be comfortable interacting with instructor, okay, but if they learn through their own peers, yeah, it may be easier for them to so we will have this online discussion. So we want to facilitate that. Okay, so how, like Ming Chun actually for the 226, they actually trial run this. Okay, they have an online discussion. Okay, and so like to encourage the student to participate in the class. Okay, because as the more they participate, actually the more they will interact, and then the more they will be able to share and then learn. Okay, so of course you need some monitoring, okay, to ensure that the students are participating and contributing. Okay, so of course maybe some marks need to be given for to take this into consideration. Okay, so just to highlight, these two, right? Okay, these are all conducted outside the class. Okay, so this is currently what is lacking in our current practice, or you can say. And of course the online lab. Okay, so this one is the video chunkings that we want to provide now, okay, through the new courses.
So it comes with the chunks. So the student is supposed to follow the chunks and do the exercise themselves. So this is being participated by the student, and the lab office hours and online interaction monitoring will be done by the instructor. I did not say who are the actors here.
Okay, of course, then TMA and quiz are the continuous assessment, which already we have. And finally the ECA. Okay, so here in SUSS, either we have the paper exam, is what we known as EQP, okay, exam question paper, or the end of course assessment, ECA in short. Okay, so if there's ECA, there's no EQP. So ECA, where you can actually, so like they do a project and then they submit a report on, and it will be graded accordingly, okay, as the exam component. So now for ECA, is some of our concern is how you want to ensure that the students don't actually copy, okay, because like assignment TMA, normally we find, like what Paul has mentioned, we actually had used Turnitin to check for plagiarism, okay. But now if we have ECA, we need to have a better idea, okay, how we want to minimize the collision involved, okay. So there are some techniques involved, so we need better design, okay. And another perspective is how we want to be able to grade them. So it'll be good to come up with some rubrics, okay. So I mean students will have a better idea, because ultimately the assessment is to help them to be able to put into practice what they have learned so far, okay. So it'll be good where we can actually have a concrete sort of like a model to tell them, okay, how they'll be graded, okay. So that is one possible way. But one other thing is how to ensure that they really do the work is they will actually present it in some way, okay. That one we are still thinking how we are able to do it, okay, for some courses, okay. Because we are thinking maybe we can have it online, okay, like student will do like what Paul mentioned, demonstrate, right, capture the thing through the demo and then speaking and explaining it as a video, and then we can actually watch the video and then grade it accordingly, of course, with the submission as well. Okay, just to minimize the possibility of them not doing the work themselves and then just posting it off as their work. So of course, there are some issues, okay, but we need to resolve this as we go along. So now just to show the schedule, okay, the timeline, we're actually trying to roll out this revamp, okay, in the shortest time possible, okay. So now we are actually stretching it, hopefully until end of next year, okay. We'll be completing this revamp. So it's not an easy task, okay. So you can see here there are two columns, okay. The left-hand column is actually the application development courses, and the right column are actually the system courses and security, okay. So Paul is in charge of the left-hand column. So I'm in charge of the right-hand one. So those in pink one are those which we already got approval, okay, or partial approval, you can say. For July 2018, it's already been approved, okay, so by our academic board, whereas for January 19, like some of these courses, we are still awaiting for academic board approval. Okay, so
in principle, it's considered approved.
So unless there is some issues, otherwise it should be fine. So now we are left with all these black color courses. Okay, so these are the last batch that we still are finalizing the developers. Okay, so we really appreciate all your help to help us develop all these courses. So far, any question? Okay. So this is, we just want to share like how this revamp will actually affect all our associates. Okay. So as we adopt this different teaching approach, right? Okay. So we'll need commitment from our associate, whether you are happy to help us continue, okay, with this. So I think ultimately all of us also want our students to learn nicely, okay, because after all, they are the one who will graduate and then go and work in the industry, okay. So that's why we are moving more from the not just teaching the theory, but actually having them exposed to the practice, because once they go outside to work, they also need to implement all this in their job. Okay, so for example, like what we see right just now, for example, like using AWS for crowd applications, okay, so we can actually make use of effective tools, okay, to demonstrate the hands-on practice. And of course, we will need to be able to record, okay, you need to produce these video chunks, okay, because you design what you want to cover for the students to be able to do, okay, and then you record down the video chunks showing them, and then after that they can actually do it before the class at home, okay, for the practice. So you will need to come up with some lab notes, okay, so that they can actually read as well, guys. Okay, and then producing the chunk is one thing, but after that we want the ongoing support, okay, the online office hours, okay, where you can actually guide the students, because definitely some of them would have difficulty, okay, and they don't need to wait until they come to the face-to-face, because the 3 hours here on campus is really very short, and the class may have many students. So now we want to offer also online labs office hours, okay, so students before the class, they can actually consult the instructor. Okay, so all these online hours, right, we are actually requesting the university to provide additional remuneration, okay, so this will be additional hours, so it will be paid, okay. And as you can see, right, there are many of you, okay, so we want everyone to know each other and help out in collaborating with each other, I mean, to benefit our students, okay, especially like now what we are going through is the course development, okay, because as you can see from the map, right, okay, there are many arrows, okay, pointing from bottom to up, okay, because all the concepts, the background of the student, right, needs to be built up, okay. So from the most basic foundation, for example, like OS, networking, okay, they need to have a strong foundation so that they can advance to the more advanced courses, okay, with the essential skills. Okay, so we need the course developers, okay, and the instructors to be aware of how the courses are all related in a sense. Okay, so you can help out each other. For example, if you know the student lack this skill, okay, then we will need to have it at the lower level course, okay, because they all stack up. Yep. So that's why we need really everyone working, yeah, closely with each other and collaborate. Okay. So Paul will actually cover this about the collaborative course development later. Okay. And of course, we also want the students to learn, okay, collaboratively. Okay. Yeah. So learning from one another through their peers, and of course, as instructor, right, the instructor will need to act as a role model. Okay. So that's why we understand that because the current practice is, yeah, some of us we are just teaching as per normal. Okay, like showing the PowerPoint and stuff like that. But as we want to adopt this new hands-on kind of practice and then showing by example, okay, so it's okay if you are not familiar with the new teaching approach, okay, as long as you are happy to adapt and you're willing to adopt. We are actually very happy if all of you can continue to help us, okay, if you're willing and kind enough. Because it's not easy to encourage the students if we are not doing it as a role model ourselves. Okay, so actually as we work with one another closely, okay, we collaborate ourselves, then we are also able to encourage the student to collaborate also, okay, through the online learning practice. Any questions? Yes. Yeah, you can say that is one.
Maybe Manchu can share a bit.
Yeah.
They are the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And we are doing agile development. It's not final. Always come back to. Sorry, I'm adding question. So we try to take that and the grouping is done based on the team. The gamification when they start with the gamification.
So this is on campus because the Indian usually primes Yammer provided by Yammer. So that's an instant chat. Not many students of this we tried. WhatsApp was good, but really noisy because the latest we tried was a Telegram channel. And the first one actually we tried was the discussion forum on campus. Nobody wants to talk. They would rather email rather than do a discussion forum. The emails will take time. Right? And they usually email the associate and teacher themselves rather than so. So I'm just wondering what is your preferred channel and how you're going to entice the student to use their channel.
That's why grading is one way to entice. Yeah, but of course that is like sort of like enforced measure. Yeah. I think the university will also prefer us to use the features which they already provide. So I think Canvas is fine. So,
The grading, which the ICT Studio 6 has this component also, meaning that during the ECA or TMA, which you can do, it's designed that they should cite their posting on the forum as evidence of their own thinking. In fact, it's not only forum, but blog, okay, which we also create, like page, where blog and forum, they don't are going to touch upon. It's different mode of communication. Blog is like a journal to yourself, your learning journey. You can share or any problem. And then forum is that you want to engage other people in solving stuff. And wiki is actually for them to agree. In the context of gamification is this. The blog, the student talk about how they feel about the game, what's their puzzlement, and then they go to the forum to discuss what's the solution, and they go to the wiki to draw out the final gameplay. They're going to play the game, and they have to agree on what's the gameplay. And when they play the second round of the game, they have to follow what they agree upon. So these three modes of communication: be able to express yourself, be able to engage other people in discussion and rationalizing which answer is better, resolving the conflicts of misunderstanding, come to a common understanding where everybody agree, fits this social cascading mode of communication in the social media quite well.
That's good for AT. But if you take the individual level and learn encounters a robot at say 11:30 at night, right? And he wants to verify that. Only we won't right now is send an email, which the associate will probably be like one.
Which we like to do this, okay? If they have a problem, they can recall what's their puzzlement, as I said, right? What can run to the lab, I cannot do, and include that chance in the recording in their blog, and then send an email to the instructor to say, please look at my problem here, and then we will gather all these questions during the online office hours and solve it at the same time. I mean, there's one solution, which is ideal, but I know that you have the concern that's why the online office hour is important. And then the asynchronous nature of communication is important. You don't want to be caught in the real-time kind of deluge, like you're forced to commit.
As much as we want to provide something that is really close to what's when the student has that problem as much as possible. So another thing we call the like outputs.
Okay, the most desperate or more strongly emotionally charged moment is that student say, hey, I don't know this is my code. I sent all the code to you. I've been done that way. Okay, then I turned around, asked the student, can you explain your problem? If you can explain your problem at the first place, then you can understand what's the solution. So I forced them to explain what's their problem.
And they expect like, why are you not answering? Why are you not getting that kind of thing? So I just
Oh, there's a lot of discipline that we want to.
Yeah.
Once you open up the channel, we say you should record down what your progress. That's a discipline in your blog. So if you have encountered a problem, at least people can backtrace where do you start to wrong spots.
So I think from day one, you need to give them the right idea how much they can expect. Yeah, so they know they wouldn't over demand.
No, it's not like we don't want to give them resources.
Yes.
They have to be able to.
Because ultimately, they have to learn themselves.
They have to learn how
We
to
cannot
answer right
spoon-feed
questions
them
that
too
can be
much.
solved
Yeah.
instantly. You can put it back. Your question is too big for me to solve. Can you help you to break it down. That's what part of your solutioning process.
So in the end, our solution was to set up a channel for them, and they get involved, and then you did, and we say we'll never answer that, drop us a line, so just go. So that they interact among themselves. So they would send an email to us, instructors. In the meantime, then we send a message out on the Telegram, WhatsApp, and here we'll try and solve it.
Yeah, that's why the forum is supposed to get engaged, Yeah, they should engage each other and help to solve.
That's the end product that we did. So then now I'm saying that if one of us take that, then I'm wondering how the online
Because to put into perspective, because if we use some other outside tools, right, then it won't be captured in our university system. So whereas Canvas, everything is stored. Yeah. So next time, actually, this will still be available.
Canvas also the chat line.
yes.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying that.
so of course, you have to enforce. I mean, tell the student, yeah, use Canvas. Yeah. But like you said, no, because the online forum will be like sort of like a centralized platform, because some of them may ask similar questions, and it's no point for you to send email and all this. It will waste a lot of time, unnecessary, repeating your time and effort. So if student email you first time, you can actually post on behalf of the student and then tell him next time you should post that. And then whenever they have any questions, they should visit the forum first and then see if other students already answer. Or you can just point, one student you already answered before, which is similar problem. So point to him and he can see easily. I think that will also be save a lot of time on your end. Yeah.
Secondly, is that as part of the campaign, entering a class with this so some proactive students will try to manage other interactions with other fellow students. I used to work here because obviously no participation, but that will do some time.
Some of the students do have they do send email, for example, but at the same time, they also post. Because I think it's expectation. This expectation is that I expect us to reply them immediately. Right? So if they want to get a fast response, response to maybe post in the forum so that peers can help them. So we emphasize a lot of peers learning how to because these are e-learning.
Yes. Okay, so I think
problem done by they set up rules. At the first year level, you should teach up among your peers, right? And it's only when you cannot solve it, then you go to the next level. That's after. But at the instructor's level, they will not give you an answer immediately. The response to the questions can only be expected, say, 1 day later. It cannot be immediate. So I think that will reduce the kind of expectation. If not, the students will always expect immediate answers from I think what I do know of this associate is we set up the rules. Don't follow the rules, you know, not to be. I'm just sharing, you know, in fact, actually last time when I was teaching, from now on forward, of the online course, you want easy answers because K first. K first, then you get it. Because there's an online subject, but that's given. But if not, then you have to expect a delayed response.
Nothing is free. Okay. Yeah. So I think what's important is, yeah, from day one, yeah, you have to tell your class, yeah, nicely how they should actually conduct their questions and how we can actually encourage them to go forward in this kind of manner. So that's why the instructor actually has a biggest role to play. How you can actually change the learning style of the student. It's not easy, but I'm sure all of you are making efforts towards this, right? Okay, I've done my part. So now back to Paul.
Yeah, actually, we just now have a very good start. In terms of we are just now in terms of our communication. Actually, we are sharing a lot of our own experiences, right? And in fact, our experiences are quite varied. And then we have yet actually to engage each other in deciding which one is the best approach, and then decide on that common approach. So we just started the process actually. So we are modeling how the student will learn in our current thinking. But we need to carry out this this approach, okay? And then at the moment, because of the limitation of the tools, we are going to just experiment, so-called not experiment. It's agile development of the course. The agile development, the methodology of developing a course, right? And then we already create this two spaces for the two tracks. This one is for the software application development. This one is for the system, the online space. And then the developer who are committed to develop a course will be enrolled in this space. And then you will start to experience this collaborative development effort. I think most of you you know, you have developed a course, you know there's something called course definitive documents. I think some of you have been given. Okay, so for those, you need to write down the topic, need to write down the learning outcome, and then the resource, the activities, right? So the topic, you can get it from the course synopsis you are given. The learning outcome also given in the course synopsis. And the resource just now in the blueprint, you know the chunks, and all these are resources you need to develop. And then the activity is the second, okay, what I'm referring to are these, okay? So in fact, yeah, this is the resources, this is the activities, and then plus the topic and learning outcome. In fact, you can design the entire so-called course definition, including what content to cover, in what sequence, and what resource will be involved, and what activity to make use of the resources. That is your first step of overview of the course development, right? Do you follow? Yeah, I think the developer and who are involved. So so it's no more just topic, learning outcome, and read which textbook page or read which slides. And look, there are more, there's tools that you need to select, you need to chunk those resources, and then tell the student what do you do with these resources you learn. In addition to the lectures, the slides and lectures that you produce. So there are more resources and activity to be designed, right? And it's not an easy task. So for those developers that were committed to develop with us, we were looping in the online community, in fact. And this is one example of the community, which is actually a blog. Okay, so here we will have blog space. All the developer will be having a journal of their development. This is where you talk about your approach, your past experience. You just plug it here, but then there will come a time when you need to decide and discuss. For example, today, when I was discussing with when we were discussing with Krishnan on the issues of what to cover on big data, I mentioned an important data structure called the data frame that is supposed to be covered in data programming, right? So you can see that data programming is supposed to fit to big data computing in cloud. Where this tool we will use is PySpark. Perhaps here we will use perhaps Anaconda, right? So you have to, but and so the connection will be happening here. And then if you look at the blog that has been posted in Mengchun's, Mengchun is the designated developer of this data programming. I have already make a comment here. Okay, sorry, I did not log in. So if I log in as a Google user, I will be able to comment. Okay, you do not have permission at the moment, but this is where Mengchun talk about his plan to develop that course, and then Krishna can look at it and ask questions and clarify. So during the course development itself, we are trying to model how the student will be engaging each other. So each developer will be given a block, and then that space is for you to record down your development process, what's your issues, and then other developer will be able to comment on it. Okay, in fact, this particular blog is talking about what I'm covering here. Okay, so ICT Replan is not just an effort to catch up with the new tools such as this or replace the old one. It's not just about going into new domains, via and then versus remaining in the old domain. It's not about enhancing new, embracing new trends and the leaving behind the old trends, but it is okay that we will ask how the diverse building blocks ICT knowledge, old and new, simple and complex, can be arranged and connected in a systematic way. So that's how I'm blocking my thought. Actually, I'm not saying that this is the definitive answer to the motivation of us doing it, right? And then, so these are just to explain, and then also to say that we should model. Okay, that's the only way that. Okay, I'm talking about. If you want to the details, you need to read the links. But basically, talking about how do we do a better job than those other autonomous universities where they have full-time expert developing individual courses. We can only do better if we work together more closely than our counterparts in the other university. This is the utmost reason and most practical as well, that we cannot work alone. Because we work alone already, we are limited by the individual ability to surpass those experts in other university. We can only help each other, right? So that's the optimal reason that we need to work together. And then when we develop this, we also need to ensure that there's topics not duplicated and there's no any gap. For example, just now the example that we talk about, you mentioned to Block about what he want to cover here, and then Krishna is starting to plan on this. The issue about data frame is important, right? So what's your understanding of data frame? Maybe people have very different, and then there could be other things. You know, in this program, in this big data, we're also talking about the scheduling and allocation of resources, and that is going to be related to distributed computing as well. For example, right now we use thread and process as an example of resource scheduling and contention avoidance. But the current trend is moving the lower level, moving away to the lower level and moving to higher level. So we are talking about maybe map reduce, you know, like those, but conceptually they are the same. So when these, okay, there's an aspect about system, how to install PySpark and how PySpark works as a distributed system that needs to be covered here as well. So when you start to develop this course, you can see the connection, and we need to make sure that there's no gap being covered, right? And if you think that, so the thread and process may be moved down to operating system where you cover here, and then the cloud may be moving down here because you are talking about, you have a need to talk about big data cluster like Hadoop, right? So this is another reason why we need to work together, because I don't see this is a one-time event. You know, this whole thing will continue to impact each other, continue to so-called cross each other, continue to change, and we need everybody to be in the same page. So Block is for you to talk about your own plan, for other people to comment, and then seriously, as we discuss about how to use online space, we need to argue and debate on the best one here. And once it's resolved, we decide on a standardized blueprint template and then imprint it that way. So this is exactly, we are doing the thing we talk about to ourselves. And we can, if we can do that, then we can at least say that, you know, I have done it. No, I have done it. Student, you don't believe me? I have done it with my other associates, my colleagues. Okay, so that's the spirit of this whole thing called collaborative course development and learning from each other. Okay, so that link is there. I think it's public. You know, if you are a developer, you will be able to edit and make comment. But you know, this is like, but if you are not, you can read about it. But for every developer, I would I would mandate that everybody got signed on. And so if nothing else, because Krishna is over at overseas, you cannot meet him face to face. The way to talk about this is through the online space. Yeah, right? Sorry. Krishna's point, what is the issue? Well, the current so-called I mean, SharePoint for me is what we have right now called the remember I mentioned this WICD and SPC online space. This is where the what we call the Google sites are. It's not SharePoint site, but Google site. Okay, so that's where this is sites.google. Is something coming up already? Site. I need my Google account. Okay, but like WICD Google site. Okay, this if I have a. Oh, okay. No. What is the URL that I use actually? If I work on this is Shaslina. Okay. You know the one that we usually use. How do we access it? I need the Google account to do that actually. Yeah.
I think it's asking if there is a relevance to whether because right now you're facilitating everything sites of Google. There's no internet.
Okay, so there's a right now everything is on Google. Yeah, Google sites. But of course, we can. I don't know how much time we have. Because Google site has a lot of benefits, we can potentially move it to Canvas as well. Because Canvas has a SharePoint, SharePoint has a foreign or not? Okay. So there's a I think I will go with the Google site first because it's already there. But what is the concern about having your own personal Gmail account? Yeah. You cannot sign on. What?
A number of universities are actually offering Google. That means they actually have a partnership with Google.
We don't have right now. But we welcome, if we can help to arrange it.
It's not free. Google money.
Oh.
It's usually one of the either Office 365 or Suite.
I think ours is all Microsoft. Our Outlook is all Microsoft.
So this is a meta discussion on which tool to use. But here, this is blog and forum, and particular. I think Roy, you have been to, right? The system and high performance computing Google sites has Google Drive with the document you can edit together, and you have document you can deposit into, almost essentially like but of course it's using Google account. Yeah. Okay, so that probably is what I have to say in terms of the very operational issues. But conceptually, you can think about us being continuing the kind of traditions of open source software development. And here I actually reference a particular article by a Berkeley scholar talking about the success of open source and what are the preconditions if this kind of effort would be helpful. So if we go through this point, you can say contribution depends on not on proprietary techniques, but on knowledge that is widely available. Okay. Okay, hold on there. So meaning that when we develop this course, although we serve as a sort of a developer of this, we should know more. But after all, we are not experts, right? So we get a resource from otherwhere and then we put it here. So in fact, our kind of situation fit this condition. It just means that what we do is not cutting edge research work that is only you know. I mean maybe that's the model of research university, but basically we are a curator. Some people use creator. We find good information and put it together. So in such effort, everybody knows something. So it's putting together is better than you do it alone. You know, it's like building wiki. And there's a substantial core that holds the promise of becoming something quite interesting. This is we have to trust ourselves what we are doing here. If we can revamp the entire ICT courses for our students, there's a core, of course. You know, we are talking about ICT knowledge. The product is perceived as important, valuable. Okay, there's a bit of subjective now. There's some subjective. Okay, and then the complexity that that is manageable, meaning that we can still focus on our domain while interacting with other. You know, there's a benefit of being able to, you know, like in parallel algorithm, there's some algorithm that can be parallelized. And I think a lot of what we do here can be parallelized. At least we're in charge of each modules and put together. And there are strong positive network effects in the sense that the more people involved, we are likely to catch errors or finding gaps and then filling up the, removing the duplicates much better. So objectively, we have such a situation. And then, of course, the subjective motivation, you have to ask, the developer has asked himself that, something like, contributors are confident that their efforts will actually generate a product, not simply to be dissipated. This is a confidence on our effort. Contributor value, status, and reputation. You know, so what we do here, we do think it is important as a way of showing what is our understanding. You know, it's something worth doing and demonstrate. It's not a trivial thing as well, although it's not proprietary to us, but what we do is not trivial. At least we can organize as much as a systematic, in finding a way to organize it systematically for our students to better learn it. And not only just monetary reason. Okay, that's another question you have to ask yourself. Gain knowledge. Do you learn from doing this? Ego is an important motivating factor. I mean, this is in the Western society, so for them, this is, I don't know whether in our culture, this will be considered positive or necessary. Yeah, but it's there. So the reference there. So there's some objective factors that this kind of approach will work. I think we sort of fit this. And there are some subjective assessment that who participate have to ask yourself whether, you know, whether you are. And then if such case, then probably there are highly, more higher chance that we can organize a community and finish the project as a big team. Okay, so that is basically what I want to say. You can read this one, and then if sorry, you can read only, but the developer will be able to comment and so on. This collaborative course development and learning. Yeah. So that sort of concludes my slides. Yeah. So I hope at least it's not more confusing, but a bit clarified. Yeah, what I mean by that. Meaning the developer would develop the course in this way. It's not an easy task because, I mean, traditionally, textbook, topic, slides, assessment, done. But now, textbook, lab notes with chunk, labs, and then, you know, online monitor interaction with the student, among the student themselves, and then even gamification if you have a way of designing a game to motivate it. Even presentation of the result, not only just grading and so on. There are a lot of works, yeah. So we need help from each other to find the right tools quickly. And if I guess this can also serve as a resource pool where you have a question you can ask other people. For example, I've been asking Ravi, what is so difficult about 12c about Oracle? No, if you come in here, you can help us to answer some of the question, perhaps. Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm just using this as an example. Actually, based on my long-standing discussion with Ravi, I find out, hey, how come, like we prepare our student quite well with database, right? And then how come they still have difficulty like passing, right? So I realized the only overlap is SQL. Okay, but database course talk about a lot of data architecture design, which is not covered in OCA. I don't know why. Okay, and then it cover about how to set up the server and make it run. It's more like operating system. So the student to do well on your course needs to do a good job on operating system rather than database. And so Roy is going to blame the operating system, who is KT. And KT has to blame Kim Chiu because Kim Chiu teach architecture. But it's a good game. That we can get the ball rolling, everybody interacting, helping each other. That'll be fun. So that's to be necessary. Yeah, so yeah, I want to gamify this one in the sense that we can pass the ball around and then see whose ball is on whose court and then quickly pass it to somebody else. Talk to each other, please.
So now we have a new course operating system. So Kim Tech will be in charge. He will actually
solve all your problems.
Introduction. And those who are really interested in it, we can go for his
because our standard SUSS courses, we have PCQ, pre-class quiz. So those are part of the assessment. If they don't do, their score will be low. Then they'll affect their grades. So you can understand.
I mean, one way we can do is for all these vendor, because vendor course, so-called vendor course meaning certification course. Traditional thought is certification is the good enough motivation. They will die want to get, but not maybe not our student.
Apparently, they just want to get the 40 to
Yeah,
to appear on the
Yeah.
transcript as
yeah,
the credits.
yeah.
They are not interested in the certification.
So that is a motivational issue with the student. We should motivate them to aim high. That's why at least 25% should get certificate. I mean minimum.
Yeah, because the DBA is a killer.
They never count it.
Yeah. I was telling, there's a great demand for EDS. Can't find even promise. Singaporean DB, very challenging, 24/7, and anytime they call down, OCA course is a very good primer for that. Very good. Once they have the OCA, any prospective employer.
Well, essentially, this is true for Red Hat, for SAP. That's the reason why we choose that. It may not be well appreciated. Yeah.
Parents always like to
Whereas if you go on the certification, the attendance and the atmosphere where you get into is mostly like, okay, let me try and get the ball. If I'm really good at it, then I will put some effort and try and get it. Big point is
another option is guaranteeing the marks is not perfect. Hospital transfer. There is another thing. Just push them to take this mark. Translation. Then they will guarantee just need to get a point. That's another option.
Yeah. We need to create some forum for us to carry this discussion. I think this recur. So if I get your support, I will try to create this online space. So at least we can we can get on among ourselves first. Any other comments or otherwise I have done my part. Maybe for the new faculty, you have any particular new ideas? Okay. KT and KC, any of your feedback and thoughts? But the development is quite different, right? The way. And then KC, your delivery is quite soon. Qixing need to help. Yeah.
So he's saying because it will be easier, like corporate governance, because like all this thing is sort of like SUSS stuff, but yeah, rather than posting some here, some there.
Okay. So Krishna has some feedback on how do we organize online space. I'll look at that. We will look at that offline as well. Yeah.
yeah. Because your course certification course is
different. All the other standard courses, 7 to 10 p.m. is all recorded.
Wow,
Because it's-
I just noticed that the course ICT 2
So you can ask Prof. Fu forever.
Another reality of our students is we will prefer they flunk out in the lower level course rather than progress until the end. So we don't mind they flunk out in the earlier lower level courses. Yeah. So moving to autonomous university has this benefit of not caring about too much. Yeah, yes. So please stand up for your standard. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. If not, then thank you, everybody. I hope you get something, and then while you engage in development or delivery of the new course, yeah, we appreciate your continued support. Yeah, thank you.
Exam.
Because originally he said he's coming down today, but in the end, yeah, but he didn't come. So because you are really new and you really have lots of things you're not. Alright, okay. Just feel free to and because Shona is our executive, so if needed, yeah, then she can arrange our medical leave. So you know your room already, right? I mean, where is the place? Yeah, so I need to check. Because I also don't know. But she's familiar with how they appreciate it. Because they will allocate the rooms and then but of course ultimately you need to be informed because you need to go. What other questions you have?
Maybe I
Alright, because we have 5. I think later we actually should shrink it to 4 rooms because the university maximize. Yeah, they set the maximum limit because we actually don't have enough resources to manage that. So they try to reduce the number of groups. So I think it may be
I'm not sure I can remember. But yeah, but you are there. We actually redeploy because we want you. So we actually remove one person. So, nervous and excited. He's asking us for the different groups, right? Not yet, right? Don't know which class. Don't know which lab. So how he will see from the associate portal? He can see from so everything is associate. They are still trying to allocate.
Yeah.
It's not easy for them because now we really have very limited resources.